Straight ahead on 12 News, the crown jewel refurbished.
I think they'll be real happy with the redesign.
Like golfers may be excited about changes at Edinburgh USA. Plus, Anoka Hennepin schools release a survey on bullying. Unfortunately, it shows the problem isn't going away. But first, a search for the missing Crystal Boy shifts to an area near the Mississippi River. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. There is a new focus in the search for missing 10-year-old Barway Collins.
Crystal police are shifting some of their efforts to an area near the Mississippi River. Reporter Sonia Goins has been following this story, and she joins us now with the latest. Sonia?
Now, Mike and Alex, I'm at the Cedarwood apartment complex. This is the last place that Barway Collins was last seen. As you can see, there's a memorial that's been set up. People have been dropping teddy bears and other items in hopes that Barway will return home. Where is 10-year-old Barway Collins? That's what police and the community want to know.
No how, no way. We must find Barway today.
Thursday, volunteers handed out flyers in hopes it would jog someone's memory.
We went in the apartment building and issued flyers to every resident.
Barway Collins was last seen getting off his school bus on March 18th at the Cedarwood Apartments. Tuesday, police released video from the bus. Barway says he sees his dad and a man he calls uncle. Crystal police are still looking for that person. Meanwhile, police say Barway's dad isn't being truthful, and they say Pierre didn't call police in a timely fashion to report his son missing. Police say they have strong evidence that the father was near the Mississippi River at the time Barway disappeared.
Based on our investigation, we now know that Pierre Collins was in the area of the Mississippi River near 694 North shortly after Barway's disappearance.
A family spokesperson refutes that claim.
Dad is truly adamant about he had nothing to do with it. The family is as any family would be with a missing child. They devastated. They want Barway back home.
Crystal police are searching this area, and they're asking the public if they have any pictures or video from 4 to 6 p.m. on March 18th.
If we had been day one or day two, buses, anybody with any video footage, we could be a lot closer to solving and possibly bringing Barway back home.
Meanwhile, this case is drawing national attention, with Pierre Collins appearing on Nancy Grace Thursday night.
I was leaving home, going to the store to get food for the other case.
Now, if you have any information on, the video or where the uncle might be, please give Crystal Police a call. On another note, volunteers will be meeting here on Saturday to conduct a search. Live in Crystal, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
All right, Sonia, let's hope for the best in this next search. Thank you. A Brooklyn Center man has been sentenced for his role in a shooting last spring just outside Target Field. A judge sentenced James Davis to more than 28 years in prison. Authorities say Davis shot two men in retaliation for a gang-related shooting. Both men survived. Prosecutors say the case was made more difficult because the men who were shot didn't want to cooperate with police. A school district that has had to handle bullying issues in the past has made some progress in that department, but officials say there is still work to be done.
An annual bullying survey done by the Anoka Hennepin School District found that between 1% and 5% of the 38,000 students in the district are bullied every day. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on what the district is doing to improve those numbers. Delane?
Mike and Alex, in this 24-page report, the majority of Anoka Hennepin students say they've never been bullied. But for the small percentage of students who have experienced it, the district calls this a major concern.
Students are targeted for a variety of reasons. One area that has remained fairly high over time is appearance. Looks and appearance is the #1 reason why students are targeted for these behaviors.
The results are based on an annual bullying survey of more than 5,500 students in grades 4, 6, 8, and 10. While the number of students who encounter bullying is higher than they'd like, the survey showed that they're seeing fewer numbers of reported incidents in places where bullying would normally occur, such as in hallways, classrooms, and electronic devices. The district is also pleased with the fact that more students are intervening when they witness incidents of bullying.
It means that our prevention efforts are working, that students are feeling confident that they can stand up for their peers, and that we're building that positive school climate.
The district has also implemented several new methods of ways to report bullying. That includes an online report form on the district website and an anonymous tip line. Meantime, Mike and Alex, one huge area of concern is that a number of fourth graders have indicated that they don't feel safe on the playground. So that's one of the big things that they're going to try to focus on and try to improve in the future.
Interesting. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Dwayne. A local hairstylist is behind proposed legislation to allow salons to go mobile. Charlene Samara says having a salon on wheels would help reach women at shelters who can't easily come in to get their hair cut. Mobile salons are legal in 20 states. Samara says it's a matter of improving someone's self-worth when they're going through a difficult time.
People are at their low and they just don't feel good about themselves. And so, you know, at those points in your life, you know, you're really struggling to get your act together and just feel good about yourself, and you've been beaten down by low self-worth.
Samara contacted local lawmakers about the idea. Representative Lyndon Carlson says it has attracted interest, but may have a better chance next year when the legislature isn't dealing with a budget.
Despite complaints its rates are unreasonable and unfair, state regulators signed off on another Xcel energy rate hike for later this year. However, a big question remains how much that rate increase will be. Xcel initially asked for a 3.5% increase for 2015. The utility company says another increase is needed to offset upgrades to its nuclear power plants.
Here's a heads up for drivers planning to use Highway 100 this weekend. Look for the detours through St. Louis Park. MnDOT is closing both lanes of Highway 100 starting just south of Golden Valley. The closure stretches from I-394 to Highway 62. It starts Friday at 9 p.m. and is expected to reopen by 5 a.m. on Monday. MnDOT is adding an auxiliary lane and reconfiguring the bridges at Minnetonka Boulevard and Highway 7. Coming up, the crown jewel gets polished up a bit. See what's different about Edinburgh USA Golf Course.
Then later in sports, a former Champlain Park hockey player is back in the Twin Cities, hoping to lead his college team to a championship.
But first, the weather turns milder just in time for the weekend. Sunday, there is a chance for rain. Golfers have been waiting for this weekend.
Edinburgh USA in Brooklyn Park will open on Sunday after a nearly $2 million facelift. 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton shows us what people will see.
The grass isn't fully green, but that won't matter Sunday to golfers.
This weekend we're going to open on Sunday morning. First tee time's at 9 o'clock.
The third earliest opening date for Brooklyn Park's premier golf course will show off the first major facelift in course history.
Now we're back to our prime again.
The original course architect, Robert Trent Jones Jr., came back to update the course.
So he just improved on his original design.
While the golf course wasn't closed last summer, construction plus prolonged winter weather put a damper on revenue.
We took covers off last week.
This season, there are two reasons the revenue should go up.
With the early opening, that'll help our bottom line, bring in some more revenue, and also get the golfers excited because the course is done.
One big change golfers will notice is the bunkers have been overhauled. There's improved drainage and there will be less upkeep over time.
I think they'll be real happy with the redesign. Like I say, for the higher handicap golfer, it's a little easier. They'll enjoy it more.
And for the low handicap golfers, there's still a challenge because the bunkers strategically narrow the fairways.
Good morning, Edinburgh Golf Shop. This is Andy.
Golfers are ready too, calling to check on tee times.
On Monday, what time?
Ready to get this year's golf season underway.
Yep, we have you at 12:06, Dave. We'll see you then.
In Brooklyn Park, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
2 new greens and 4 new tee boxes were also installed. There's a celebration plan for the grand reopening in May, but I'm sure golfers will be celebrating on Sunday.
Chomping at the bit, right?
You bet. After last year when they couldn't get on for so long, yeah. Coming up, Holy Week with a whole lot of laughs.
Weekend Showcase previews late night catechism at the Plymouth Playhouse. But first in sports, hear from the new activities director and the new head girls basketball coach at Osseo High School. Jay Wilcox steps in next.
Jay Wilcox now with sports and some changes in the coaching and sports lineup over at Osseo High School.
That's right, really for the coming school year, but they put it in place right now. You know, better to get a good head start on things, right? He's been a fixture as a teacher and coach at Osseo High School. Now Bill Kwan is set to take on a new role at the school as activities director. John Jacobson caught up with Kwan.
Well, thanks, Jay. As you mentioned, Bill Kwan is the new activities director here at Osseo High School. He'll actually officially take over in July, but he's kind of started a transition. And first of all, Bill, congratulations. I know this is something that you've kind of aimed for in your career.
Yeah, I've been working towards this goal for 7 or 8 years. I played last time when Ray Kirch was hired, and since then kind of building a resume, working events, and kind of working behind the scenes to see what it really takes to be an athletic director. And over the past 8 years, Ray's kind of mentored me a little bit and helped me prepare for this day.
You know, it was a goal for you to be an activities director. How important was it for you to stay at this school and not have to go to perhaps another district to realize that goal?
My goal was to be the athletic director here, first and foremost. The past couple years, there's been some job openings in our district in the same position, and I never really applied for it. It's one of those where if it didn't work out here, I'd continue teaching and coaching, but this is the place that really feels like home, and this is the place where I want to be.
This gym has been special to you. You've been a volleyball coach here for 13 years. How hard was that discussion when you had to tell your volleyball girls that, hey, I can't be your coach anymore?
There's lots of tears from me and the girls. I still get a little emotional about thinking about that day. That weighed heavily in my decision to apply. I had to think about that a lot. And my daughter's coming up and through the program. She's a 7th grader who's going to play at Osseo in just a few years here. So having that conversation with her that I could possibly not be her coach anymore, I got her blessing to go for it. So I'm very fortunate to be here. And the girls have all come and told me that, you know, they're happy for me. And go find them a good coach.
Finally, what's the biggest challenge for you as you go forward? And now you're not just in charge of volleyball, you're in charge of all the athletics and activities.
I think right now the biggest challenge is to get to know all the activities that I'm in charge of now. You know, I'm pretty versed in all the high school sports, but I had a meeting with the speech teacher, speech coach yesterday, and with the musical director next week.
Bill, good luck in this new job.
Thank you very much.
Bill Kwan, new activities director here at Osseo Senior High School. Jay, back to you.
Thanks, John. Kwan says the head volleyball coaching position will be posted April 6th. His first official day as activities director is July 1st. Another head coaching vacancy at Osseo was filled this week as the new head girls basketball coach was hired. Former assistant coach Jen Moen on the left is now the head coach for the Orioles. Moen takes over for John Reeser, who resigned after the season. Moen has been on the coaching staff for the past 3 years and was also an assistant for the Orioles to Warren Bolin in the early 2000s. She's excited for this new job.
I'm very excited. In all honesty, this is kind of why I went into coaching. I always dreamt that someday I'd get an opportunity to be a head coach. I feel like I've had great role models and, you know, mentors to get ready for this, and what a great group of kids to work with. I know our strengths and where to go from there. I think I also know the areas that we need to work on and kind of where we can jump off with that and start improving on those things.
The Orioles finished 19-9 this season, losing in the Section 5 semifinals to Wayzata. Moen says she'll begin work soon on a summer workout schedule for the team and assemble a coaching staff. The Division III men's hockey Final Four is at Ritter Arena this weekend, and it's a special homecoming for Champlin Park graduate Brandon Jaeger. Jaeger is the starting goalie for the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point. The senior has won 22 games this season and is tied for most wins in school history with 61. The Pointers lost in the national title game last season, so they're eager for another chance. And for Jaeger, getting that chance close to home is very special.
You know, being able to come back home and play in front of family and friends, and then it's also pretty close to Stevens Point. So, yeah, you can't ask for much more being in a championship your senior year. So, you know, there's a lot of seniors out there who don't have this opportunity to compete for a national title. You know, there's only 4 teams left, so you can't really ask for anything more.
Stevens Point plays Amherst College in the semifinals Friday night at 7:30. Breck graduate and Brooklyn Park native Thomas Lindstrom is a freshman forward for Amherst. So great to see those guys doing well and getting a chance to play right in their hometown.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Still ahead, we add a little laughter to Holy Week.
How religious teaching has been turned into a successful play when we come back.
Minnesota's month-long food share campaign is in its final days, and here's a great way to help neighbors in need. If you're grocery shopping Saturday at Cub Foods or Festival Foods in Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, or Champlin, look for the CEAP truck or bus at each location and pick up a few extra items to donate. The goal is to collect 200,000 pounds of food and $200,000 by the end of the month.
A portion of every dollar and every pound we raise and all of the food shelves raised are matched by the Minnesota Food Share March campaign, and our match alone last year was able to fill our food shelves for 2 months.
CEAP's Feed the Need event runs from 9 in the morning until 2 on Saturday. And top food items needed include cooking oil, flour, sugar, pasta, rice, and cereal. Well, as we approach Holy Week, with Easter next weekend, you may find yourself reflecting on your faith.
That's right. Plymouth Playhouse is presenting a lighthearted production that takes people back to 3rd grade religion class. Here's Neil Persley with Weekend Showcase.
The very first day that I walked into that 2nd grade classroom at St. Catherine of Siena, there was 62 children and me. And every one of those little kids knew in their hearts that they were better than those kids that went to public schools, because their parents sacrificed.
As soon as you sit down, you feel like you're in a 3rd grade Catholic school classroom.
And Sister will put the fear of God in you.
Kimberly Richards has been playing Sister for the last 14 years.
Every sister you ever knew, every nun you ever had. Did you go to Catholic school, Neil? No. Oh, that's what explained the gum chewing, wouldn't it?
The play begins with Sister telling us a little bit about her early teaching career during the baby boom years.
Oh, it was the heyday for Catholic schools. Catholic schools were churning those kids out. Nuns were teaching everywhere. Everything was fabulous. It was like this amazing, well-oiled machine.
Late Night Catechism started in Chicago and has been running there for 22 years.
All right, listen up, class. Times are tough. Churches are closing left and right. So some of the saints are getting laid off. If you haven't got a church named after you, you better watch out, because today we are going to determine saint, not a saint.
Gentle and funny, but always with an edge that lets you know just who's in charge.
Yes, sister. Yes, sister.
Humorous without crossing the line, Sister provides a lesson in laughter.
Holy day of obligation. Where do we have to go? Where do we go if we don't go there? Hell. Who said shopping?
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley.
Late Night Catechism runs at the Plymouth Playhouse through June 14th. Don't mess with that sister.
No, they called Neil out. Did you see
No
her?
gum chewing.
Hey,
That's great. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next. We hope you have a great weekend, everyone. See you back here on Monday.